work because you kind of want to wear those T-shirts like a Spurs game or what. Now they're not going to let you into the Frost Bank Center with an expletive on your your chest.
Why not?
You're not allowed to.
If you got your jacket over you, they ain't gonna tell you shit.
Yes, they will.
No, they won't. They
You
just don't want
you cannot go to the Frost Bank Center and wear an F this or fully
I've seen some pretty bad stuff on the back of jerseys, man. I've seen
the
people
second
wearing
that
some
they're
raunchy shit.
second that they're seen, they're gone.
No.
They're gone, Joe.
The Spurs just don't want you wearing anything that's gonna badmouth the organization or making fun of a player.
We are grown ass adults, man.
Yes, but we can wear "fuck them pics" on the shirt. We don't need to.
No, dude. If you're wearing that,
you will not censor me, Mike.
If you're wearing that and you're older than 21, come on, Joe.
I'm not gonna put F them pics.
No, just the letter F. Just the letter F. We'll get into that a little bit.
No, that ain't gonna sell, bro. We gotta ask the listeners what they want. We'll leave it up to the listeners.
It's kind of like wearing a Spurs jersey without the T-shirt where you're showing your arms out. Tacky.
You're not gonna wear it. You're not gonna show us none of the.
Dude, I don't care if you're in shape or not. That's tacky, dude.
You're gonna show us none of the.
Wearing a basketball jersey is tacky without a T-shirt underneath.
Come on, you're not gonna show us the little rolls, Mike. Come on.
Yeah.
Do you see that video I posted? That was funny. Of that guy doing the splits, John Van Claude style.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme style. Yeah, dude, I never understood the. Chica and I were going on about this yesterday because I was talking to her about how I didn't watch cartoons growing up and
Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? This is the Area 210 podcast. My name is Mikey Bennis. That's Joe Garcia. Didn't even realize the show was starting because Joe and I were just going off on each other during the pregame, the 2-minute pregame before the show.
Joe,
how you feeling? Huh?
I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about you trying to censor.
I'm not trying to censor. I'm letting you know
the FCC. You're being the FCC.
Society will censor. So Joe is thinking about coming out with some Area 210 podcast T-shirts, right? And he has shown me 4 or 5 examples of what he wants to do. And I love a lot of them, dude. And we're not going to say exactly what they are right now because Joe hasn't pinpointed exactly which ones are going to be released first, right? But there are Area 210 T-shirts coming out. But there was one that we have to talk about a little bit, which is one of the catchphrases that we have on our show. So one of the catchphrases that we have on the show that you're talking about, Joe, I'll reveal, which is what's his name? What's his name?
What's his name? Gone.
Okay, first of all, that's classic. Okay, it's kind of a if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Thing of the Area 210 podcast. What's his name? Gone. Another one could be good.
Good. With your face on it. Good.
But there was one that we were talking about. We were going back and forth about what are the phrases that the show normally says. And one of them is F them picks, right? We call it F them picks, but we don't really use the expletive more often than not because, we got to be a little bit tasteful when it comes to things, right? So he showed me the markup of the shirt, right? And the shirt had the full word. And I'm letting you know the problem with the full word is you're not going to be able to go out anywhere because no one's going to wear that, Joe. No one's going to wear that. That's tacky.
We'll leave it up to the listeners. Listeners, if everyone want to go ahead and chime in here, if we make shirts or stickers that say "fuck them picks," will you wear them or will you be happy to go ahead and receive said stickers?
Can't take it to the Spurs game, Joe. If you wear a T-shirt that says "F them picks," they're not going to say anything to you at the Frost Bank Center. By the way, Chris Gonzalez on our YouTube stream, our chat powered by MCS General Contracting, is one word, Joe: throbbing.
Do you want me to put throbbing or he's throbbing?
He's throbbing.
God.
It's an if you know type of thing. But I've seen some of these shirts, and I like the idea, and I can't wait for them to come out. I can't wait to wear them. It's fantastic. The you don't know ball.
Yeah, I just want to have the word "you don't know ball." I think that one's just funny. Put it on the shirt. Oh God!
A sneaky athletic Chris Gonzalez. This is great, Joe. This is great. This is how you know that we have a community of podcast listeners, because we all have the same inside joke. That's what it is, right? In the building does their thing. We do our thing. Rudy Campos Jr. with Sweep the League. They do their own thing. Our thing is we have certain phrases that we use. The Grito shirt, that's another good one there. Alien of the Clown.
Look at this one by Sith saying, F them pigs made famous by MCS's own Leha.
$2 super chat coming on in. We almost had $100 in super chats yesterday, which was
let's
pretty
go ahead
amazing.
And play the jingle, man.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
I made it
Matt Lerma saying, I need that sneaky athletic shirt. Dude, that is so funny, man. That is so funny. I would wear. I want that one. I want the one that's the you don't know ball. That's a great one.
It'd be funny, Alien and the Clown, if we just have like the alien or the alien symbol itself, like the emoji, and then the payaso emoji, the clown, alien and the clown. Oh.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Hey, we understand that before we get into sports, pop culture, and nostalgic type things, that there's going to be a new podcast coming out featuring our buddy Sith.
Yeah, it's
Elias.
Our buddy Sith Elias. He's going to be doing a podcast coming out. I believe it's going to be premiering today. So we want to give him some love. I'm going to go ahead and get the text pulled up here, and it's called Elias. It's going to be called by Elias. It's called Talking Sith, and is hosted by Elias. So
okay, first of all, they got the name wrong. They got the name wrong. Elias, love you, man. You are you're an OG of this show. But how is this show not called I Plead the Sith?
All right. Well, it's talking like shit, but it's like, Sith, because it's his nickname.
Yeah. Chris Gonzalez, too ethnic.
Too ethnic. What was the other one? Oh, this one. I love this one here. Make more money.
More money. What do you mean? Just go make more money. It's funny because Chica and I we're going on yet another vacation next week, and she was like, "Okay, we got to tone it down." And I said, "No, baby, we just go make more money."
Look at that. Real men wear Lululemon.
Mm-hmm. I like that. The fake
this...
Lululemon logo. San Antonio is poor.
Oh. San Antonio is poor, but Corpus is really poor. The Edgar Mike t-shirt is coming, and so is the sticker. So if you all want to wear one or the other, it's coming.
Somehow or another, to raise money, the Edgar Mike could be a Fiesta medal. Can you picture that at Market Square?
Oh God!
People trading, like, what is this? Who's this Edgar? Who's Edgar Mike?
And look at Sith. He says, "I plead the Sith. I should have thought of that."
Well, baby, it ain't too late to change.
It's not too late to change it, Sith. Do it. Keep San Antonio poor. Oh, Houston is the armpit of Texas.
That's my phrase. I hate Houston.
Oh God!
Armpit of.
I thought of another one, Mike. I'm 1-0 in Fiesta fights.
Dude, we have so many phrases, Joe. We have so many phrases. Throbbing is a really good one. Good is another one. Fiesta fight, undefeated champ.
And there he goes. Elias is saying that Talking Sith premieres tonight at 7 p.m. I believe it's going to be coming out on Sweep the League. So you can see that the Sweep the League TV, it's on YouTube. They have a YouTube channel, so you can go check that out.
Very cool. Very cool. Chica is coming home early today because it is flooding here in the Conroe area. Joe, what's it looking like weather-wise over there
It wasn't too bad. I got out in the morning just a little while ago, and I tried to go to the taqueria just around the corner from me, right here on Marbach.
Yeah,
The line was super long, man. I guess everybody's going into work late because of all the flooding and whatnot.
yeah.
Lines are super long. I had to just go ahead and use my backup plan and go to Whataburger and get the sausage breakfast on a bun. That's what I
Mm.
had to settle for because there was no line, of course, at Whataburger there. So, yeah. And I ain't going to was it Taco Cabana? That's
Oh,
gross, bro.
gross.
That's
That's
gross.
gross, man. Chica made some chorizo de tacos with hash browns for me this morning. So good girl, baby. That's a good girl. I was talking to her yesterday about the show because I was telling her about the super chats that came in. She is confused by the fact that people will donate money to the show, to
She's
the show's
confused.
cost. She's confused by it all. She's like, okay, first of all, let me get this straight, Michael. You get up and you talk at 10 o'clock. Like the whole idea of doing a podcast kind of baffles her. And the fact that we have a community of people who listen, she thinks it's kind of funny. But I tell her, I say, "You're part of the show." She goes, "I don't want to hear. Just don't embarrass me too much." But Chica coming home early today because she's a dental hygienist, and because it's flooding over here, all her appointments are canceling today. So she's going to come home pretty early today. So I'm going to clean up before she gets over here. But I was telling you before the show started, I was like, man, I would have had a crush on her if she was my dental hygienist. You kidding me?
Oh,
Would have been
man.
all about it, man. I would have gotten my teeth cleaned every 3 months instead of every 2 years. But now I get my teeth done in the living room on the couch
For free?
for free. It's kind of sexy. To be honest with you, sneaky sexy.
Look at Tony Ornelas. Mike and Joe have good jobs. Don't donate anymore.
Very, 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 very funny.
Hey, there
man.
was some tornado, I guess, spotted or touched down here. There was one hook echo that they reported over there by Leon Valley.
Oh,
I
really?
believe in the Helotes area or something like that. That it was confirmed that a tornado had touched down, and then there's other reports that there's been tornadoes that maybe have touched down between Wimberley, they're saying, and San
Oh,
Marcos
wow.
last night at 1 a.m. It was getting pretty bad out there, man. There was a lot of cars that I saw in the morning when I was watching the news. They got caught in the flood, the flash flooding there, and they were in a creek, and there was like 5 vehicles that were submerged. And during the whole, going live and all that, they were talking about that. Some poor guy shows up, man, distraught because he think he is seeing the vehicles, and he recognized one of those as being his fiance's vehicle, and he
Oh,
hasn't heard from her. So he was like breaking down and getting mad at the first responders there. It's a sad scene. And then there was a confirmed body that had washed down, and they, of course, were notifying the individual's mom and whatnot there as well. So it's like it was a bad scene, man. I don't know if that should have been shown on TV without the consent of said individuals, you know?
and we saw that double tornado in Lubbock. I don't know if you saw that the other day.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But no, man, the weather. We complain about it right now, but the fact of the matter is that typically this time of the year, all of Texas is just burning up 105-degree heat. We need the rain at all times, dude. And but sometimes you know this about San Antonio, the rain doesn't come a little bit at a time; it comes in buckets. What I'm freaking out about when it comes to the weather in San Antonio is where's all the hail coming from, dude? Like it used to
Right.
hail once or twice a year. Now it's like once or twice a month. You hear about hail happening, and it seems to be happening between Helotes, like the ring around 1604 on the northwest side of town, from Petranco all the way to like La Cantera. For some reason, it's getting a ton of hailstorms, and I don't remember growing up. I don't remember living in San Antonio so long to have that always happen. I lived in Helotes,
Yeah.
right? I lived near UTSA for a good while. I lived off of Petranco. I don't remember there being this much hail, and it's like constant now. I wonder what the heck's going on when it comes to that.
Oh yeah, man. There was some protests going on downtown last night, and it says protest ended before the bad weather. One of my friends who works at the Emily Morgan downtown, she sent me some pictures that I shared with the group and video of what things look like from the roof. It was pretty good, footage there, and the crowd was for the most part peaceful. There was no, reports of any looting or anything like that, or any, thing going astray. So pretty good, all in all. But I don't know if they're going to do it again tonight or what, or how they're going to keep on planning to protest downtown, but there was a lot of police out there in force, trying to keep the crowd at bay.
I wasn't anticipating there being anything violent going on in San Antonio when it comes to riots. That's just not a San Antonio thing.
Well, Mike, if you remember during COVID, they had that Black Lives Matter movement, and there was a protest downtown that went awry, and it just went crazy, man. It was like a riot going on downtown. They destroyed some businesses downtown, broke windows, did some looting, messed up the Whataburger downtown, things like that. That's the only time that I can remember or I recall in recent history that something like that happened. Most of the time, it's peaceful.
Most of the time it is. Let's go ahead and talk about some basketball, the NBA Finals. We're going to get into the NBA Finals. My dream of the Thunder in 5 is now over. It is now projected to go the way of Joe Garcia. Joe saying that he has the Pacers in 6. Yesterday we had Game 3. Chet Holmgren had a hell of a game. I was thinking halfway through that we were going to be talking about how Chet Holmgren finally showed up and we had the Chet Holmgren game, but then Miles Turner just completely swatted him in the fourth quarter. It reminded me of when Wemby swatted Holmgren
Chet.
there back a couple of years ago before winning Rookie of the Year. Just took the soul away from him. It was an interesting game. We'll break down Game 3 of the NBA Finals. But before we get into that, let's talk about a post that Jeff Garcia had from Locked On Spurs in Ken's 5.
Okay.
And there's a YouTube clip that's associated with it, but unless you're speaking that language, you're not going to know what the hell is going on. But the translation, again, at Jeff Garcia, Jeff G Spurs Zone on Twitter, it says ex-Sacramento Kings player Peja Stojakovic on the De'Aaron Fox Spurs trade says that agent Rich Paul manipulated multiple teams to control where his Klutch clients ended up. Says Rich Paul blackmailed teams to trade De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs, that Sacramento could have gotten a better deal elsewhere if not for agent Rich Paul. Interesting, Joe, because Peja Stojakovic, again, former Sacramento Kings star, coming out and saying, man, we got fleeced.
Yeah, I'm looking for that on Jeff's feed. I don't see it. Did you share it on your Twitter?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go share it right now. I just reposted it right now. So I found it to be interesting. And then you can click on there and see the interview on YouTube, but the interview is done in a different language. I don't know if it's Serbian or whatever the case may be. But I found this to be interesting because
I see it now.
We asked the question: how did the Spurs get De'Aaron Fox for 10 cents on the dollar? Like, a trade is a two-way thing, right? Both sides have to agree. How is it that Sacramento took peanuts from the Spurs in order to get rid of De'Aaron Fox? I know De'Aaron Fox wanted out. And when a player says that they want out, they can have a lot of control over the situation. They may not totally control the situation, but they have a firm grip on what's going on. We see that with Kevin Durant right now in Phoenix. Kevin Durant wants out of Phoenix. If he wants to go to San Antonio, guess what? He's going to go to San Antonio. If he wants to go to Houston, he can go to Houston, right? But the question is, what do you get in return? And typically when you lose a star player, you don't get 100 cents on the dollar, right? Giannis, when he finally leaves Milwaukee will not get 100 cents on the dollar, right? You get 50 cents on the dollar. Like when the Spurs lost Kawhi Leonard. When Kawhi Leonard said he wanted out of San Antonio and the Spurs were willing to deal him to Toronto, we got DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, and we got a draft pick, right? An okay haul, but it wasn't 100 cents on the dollar because Kawhi Leonard at the time was a top 5 player in the NBA. You look at that, the Spurs at least got 50, 60 cents on the dollar for Kawhi. But De'Aaron Fox, man, the Spurs got rid of Zach Collins' contract and they sent that to Chicago, got something for Trey Jones.
Yeah.
And what did Sacramento get? A bag of chips.
Nothing.
Sacramento got very little in that trade. They got some trade capital, some draft capital rather, but 10 cents on the dollar. So you look at Peja Stojakovic, former NBA player, coming out and saying that this was all manipulated in the favor of the Spurs, which was weird because we're a small market team. It was a small market team taking advantage of another small market team. But Joe, do you believe that Klutch Sports has so much power in the NBA that they can control what goes on when it comes to these teams wheeling and dealing?
I think to some extent the agents and the let's say brand that they represent in this place, in this sense, it was Klutch Sports. They do have some power, because the more clients, high level clientele that you have on your team, the more power you have because you can control where said players want to go and how much you're going to, let's say, garner for said player, because it has to be a lot of working parts that move together to work to make these deals get done. Players have to be okay with being traded for one. All right, they are tradable assets. I get that. Every let's say every team has the ability to trade said player at any time unless they have a no trade clause, but everything is always workable. Even if they have a no trade clause, they can agree to be traded and it's a done deal. But the agency that they work for in this sense, Klutch Sports and the representative there, they do have a lot of power. And I think that's something that players get behind because it's almost, if you think about it, Mike, it's like what do you call that? Like you're being part of an what do they call it? A union, right?
Right.
It's almost like you're being a part of a union. And don't get me wrong, the players have the players association that represent them kind of like a union. It is a union for all intents and purposes. But in this sense, you have your agent or your agency representing you as far as a tradable asset or an asset, and how much money you can make. And there's a lot of moving parts that go on into everything that is going on behind the scenes when teams are making trades. But yeah, the agencies and the agents themselves have a big part to play in what happens.
Right.
And that's what players pay for.
Well, I'm looking at the players that are represented by Klutch Sports right now. And a lot of what you say is true, Joe. It is the agent's job to get the player in the best position possible. They are loyal to the player. They're not loyal to the organization because they do not represent the organization. They, along with the players' union, represent the players. Now, when I hear about Klutch Sports, I think to myself, they must have every star possible, right? But they don't. I'm looking at their roster of players right now, Joe. Lonzo Ball, Miles Bridges, Jordan Clarkson, Anthony Davis, De'Aaron Fox, Darius Garland, Aaron Gordon, Draymond Green, LeBron James, so that's a big get. Bronny James, obviously. Spur Keldon Johnson with Klutch Sports. Zach LaVine, Tyrese Maxey, DeJounte Murray,
Yeah.
Yusuf Nurkic, Fred VanVleet, John Wall. I mean, that's not a roster there that says that they're the most powerful organization of all time. I think the other one is CCA, is the other one that's out there. They're probably the bigger of the two. But the fact of the matter is that we're not the ones that got fleeced. So I'm not going to sit here and say that the Spurs should retroactively go send players and picks to the Kings to make it right. But the Kings got fleeced, and they got fleeced somehow, some way. Because what the Kings got in exchange for the Fox trade was not even 10 cents on the dollar, Joe. And I wonder, why did Sacramento agree to this? Is it because maybe Klutch Sports said not only are they trying to manipulate it, maybe they said, you know what? We're going to tell our guys not to sign with you guys. Do you think that is at all possible, that it's possible for Klutch Sports to say, we will blackball you as an organization if you don't let this go through?
They can make threats and they can insinuate that they're going to do things. I mean, it's all part of the business, to try to get your client out of a situation they no longer want to be in. Of course, De'Aaron Fox didn't look like he was happy there at Sacramento. He wanted out, and the team was trying to just do the best they could to get him out and also try to get something in return for him. Mm-hmm. But in this sense, I guess they just looked at things and just like, you know what? Let's just get rid of this dude. Let's go ahead and just unleash some cap space. I think that was their move. Try to get rid of him, get that cap space off the sheets, off the books there. And that way they can go ahead and have some type of a future in place as far as how they want to move.
Yeah, so let's see who Sacramento got. Okay, maybe it was a little bit more than 10 cents on the dollar, but still, it didn't seem right. They got Zach LaVine. They got City Sissoko, scrub. They got the Spurs first-round draft pick that they got from the Hornets, which turns into a second-rounder. So it wasn't a first-round pick.
No.
They got the 2027 Spurs first-round draft pick, and then they got the pick that the Spurs got for Rob Dillingham, the 2031 T-Wolves pick. So essentially, they got Zach LaVine, Sidi Sissoko, who's a second-rounder, 2 first-round picks that are projected to be end of the first round, and they got 4 second-rounders. Bag of chips, dude. Bag of chips for their star player in De'Aaron Fox. It's not a lot, dude. They didn't get a haul at all.
It's kind of like Kawhi.
LaVine.
It was kind of like Kawhi. He wanted out. He wanted to go, and the Spurs just got the best they could for him at the time, which was DeMar DeRozan, and they got what's his name, Jakob Portal,
Yeah,
and a future pick or what have you. And there you go. They got rid of Kawhi Leonard, send him off to the Toronto Raptors. Kind of the same situation, but it's not as volatile as it was with the Spurs and Kawhi,
Mm-hmm. Jonathan Pettis says, Joe, where can I get that hat like yours, Joe?
Go ahead and talk to my boy, Tex-Mex Frank of Come and Smoke It Apparel. You can go ahead and check him out on the X. Go ahead and check him out. It's called Come and Smoke It Apparel on the X, man. You can get you a nice little Texican hat like that by talking to my boy, Tex-Mex Frank.
NBA draft is in 12 days, Joe. Level of excitement that you have for it, Joe, on a scale of 1 through 10. And I want people to tell me on the chat as well, which again is powered by MCS General Contracting. Scale of 1 through 10, how excited are you about the draft, which is in less than 2 weeks? Spurs holding right now on the number 2 and 14 pick. Everybody and their mama, every mock draft possible has the Spurs taking Dylan Harper number 2. But how excited on a scale of 1 through 10, Joe, are you over that? Or are you more excited about what might happen leading up to the draft, a potential trade coming up?
I don't know if I'm so excited about the potential trade itself. Spurs getting Dylan Harper. Okay. I can see that happening. Almost a done deal, unless something happens to where the Spurs absolutely go in an opposite direction. They could also get, I don't know, go out of far left field there and go with Con Knipple, somebody they never thought would go number 2. But no, I think they're going to go and get Harper. That's exciting to me. At number 14, though, that's still a big question mark. I don't know what they're going to do because we're hearing a lot of chatter that the Spurs might actually trade that away and deal with another team. They could possibly maybe try to make a move to move up in the draft a little bit or go ahead and make a trade and acquire a player. Who knows?
Now, that's where I want to get into because no one's talking about that, Joe. That's exactly what I wanted to get into because we talk about trading this number 14 pick, right? Go put him in a package deal for Kevin Durant, right?
Yeah, they got nothing but picks.
And Las Vegas has the Spurs as odds-on favorites to get Kevin Durant. Houston, also one of the teams that's projected to possibly make a good run at him. We hear other teams like Miami, the New York Knicks, and then Shams Charania of ESPN saying that there's some outside teams, some teams that are coming out of nowhere that are going to come in and try to swoop in and get Kevin Durant. But let's say it doesn't happen, Joe. Let's say that we can't flip 14 Barnes and Vassell for Kevin Durant. Shouldn't the Spurs at that point think about the idea of moving up in the draft? Trading, I don't know, a future first rounder or maybe a pick swap. Maybe the swap that we have with Atlanta. Maybe it's one of our future picks. Wouldn't it be in the Spurs' best interest to move up and use some of this draft capital? Because beyond us having our own picks, like we don't have our own pick in 2027. We traded that to Sacramento for De'Aaron Fox, but we have Atlanta's pick in that draft. So I wouldn't do anything for 2027, but we have multiple picks down the road when we have a Celtics pick or when we have whatever. Moving one of those first rounders up in order to go get your guy.
Yeah.
And that guy, Joe, should be Con Knipple.
Con Knipple. It'd be a win in my eyes if the Spurs can go ahead and get Harper at 2, and then you get Con Knipple if you can move up in the draft because you have tradable assets there. You have something that's attractive to, let's say, other teams, and that is nothing but picks. They got picks for days. If you go ahead and package the 14th pick, maybe get rid of one of your players there, sweeten the deal a little bit. Package in some picks, move up in the draft a little bit, get Knipple. Why not? That would be a win. If you would give that a grade, letter grade, Mike, what would you give the Spurs if they could get Harper and Knippel?
Oh, I'd give that an A, solid A plus, dude. I really
Yeah.
would. I'm looking at the draft point value.
Yeah.
And the point value of say that Spurs moved up to number 7 to get Knippel, right?
Yeah.
That has a 2,000 point value. The 14 pick has a 1,320 point value. So the difference is about 680 to 700, which is basically a late end first rounder. So if the Spurs were to trade a future first round draft pick along with the number 14 pick, they conceivably could get up to number 7 and get a Knippel, a plug and play player. Because if you get Dylan Harper and Knippel, guess what? Both of those guys are NBA ready.
They are.
Okay. There are certain players like Derek Queen or Common, who's coming in from Duke, who are going to be projects who have the wingspan.
Yeah.
Carter Bryant, who have the wingspan, have
Asa Newell, one of my favorite players, project player.
Asa Newell is
he's really young, dude. He's only like 19, man.
He is. He has an NBA body, though, man. He has an NBA body. He has an NBA motor. I think that defensively he can go out there, just whether or not offensively he can do just as well as he did in Georgia.
Does he have a broken shot?
He doesn't have a broken shot. No, he doesn't. But he's a mid-range kind of guy. He
gives you some length, man. Some height there.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Asa Newell, dude. I mean, that's my guy. But you look at some of these players who are project players like Jasparis and all those guys. They're projects that they hope are going to develop in 2 or 3 years. And Spurs fans don't want to have.
You don't want another
project player,
dude. You don't want a Luka Samanic. You
want somebody who can play right now.
Yeah,
so if you look at the draft right now, who can play right now? Cooper Flag at number 1 is going to be a player that's going to win Rookie of the Year and is going to be playing right away. Dylan Harper has the body, 6'5", has the defensive skills, the shooting ability to play right now. You could keep going on. Knippel can play right now. VJ Edgecombe can play right now. Those are the 4 or 5 in the Knippel. Those are the 4 or 5 in the top 10 who can play right now significant minutes, right?
Yeah, and nobody's, like you said, no one's talking about the Spurs moving up in the draft. They're all thinking that right away the 14 pick, and that's it.
Exactly. But you look at some of these other players that are in the draft right now. Ace Bailey. As much as I like Ace Bailey, guess what? Ace Bailey is a project player.
Yeah.
Trey Johnson. Now, Trey Johnson from Texas, that guy can shoot, man. He can shoot lights out. So, you know what? In a league, he might not have the skills defensively, but he can light it up from the offensive side of the game. Common is going to be a project. Jeremiah Fears is so young. He's going to be a project. Carter Bryant, again, played so well in March Madness, but before that, kind of reminds me of, I told you about this yesterday, kind of reminds me of what was that guy's name from the Cowboys, the quarterback the Cowboys picked from North Dakota State? The one that was drafted number 3 by the Niners back in the day.
Oh,
why is it failing me? You know what his name is, Joe? Either way, Trey Lance gone.
Trey Lance gone. You know what? I was going to tell you another player that can shoot the ball really well, can put up a bunch of points as a bucket getter, is Luka Doncic. Unfortunately, he just can't play any defense to save his life. He's a defensive liability out there, but he's a bucket getter. The Spurs need a bucket getter, And we do have a super chat we got to address. We got 2 of them.
Oh, yeah.
So here we go. We got one by the Drew Show. Thank you, Drew. Sorry about getting to it a little late, but we were talking there.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
So Drew says, pinche Mike Jimenez and his OKC in 5 jive. Chancla.
Is that really a chancla? I didn't flip-flop. I just got it wrong. I mean, how is that a flip-flop?
Well,
he wants a flip-flop. He paid for it. Let's go ahead. Let's do
it. And we have another super chat.
Oh, we do?
Here. Yeah, this one is by Jason Garcia. So thank you, Jason. We got to play the jingle for you.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Thank you, Jason. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, it says, just want to check up on everybody in San Antonio. Hope everyone has power and did not get flooded out. Again, the rain all over Texas right now. Did you hear that right now? Big old rumble of thunder right now outside my house. Chica coming home early because no one wants to get their teeth clean.
Think I'm hearing rumbles of thunder here in San Antonio. I keep on hearing some rumbles going on here. And somebody's saying here, Mario Cavasso says, Area 210 podcast draft party at Mad Peckers, Joe? Question mark. Mike, I think that should be a thing because Mad Peckers, they went under. They shut their doors and they just reopened. They rebranded. They got a new logo.
They rebranded. What are they called now?
It's still called Mad Pecker, but the thing is, their logo is totally different now.
Yeah.
And this has given them a second life. They were a big staple in that community out there. And I think we need to go ahead and maybe give them some love, man.
We got to figure something out. I would really love to have a draft party, but my divorce is being finalized. And one of the things is that I'm going to have custody of my daughter more than likely the night of draft night. So that's probably going to put me out when it comes to it. Typically, I would have her July 1 through July 31st, and then weekends throughout the school year. But they're asking for me to take her Father's Day, so I'm more than likely I'm going to have her the rest of the time. So I'm probably going to have to watch this at home. Now, if you want to do a podcast, Joe, a live podcast during the game, we can make that happen, man. Samson says he wants Cayman.
Cayman, okay.
Okay, from Dukes, that was a 7'6" wingspan.
Yeah.
Chuck Mikatinik from Maximum Sports, Fox 29, said it best back in the day. You can't teach height.
Yeah.
You can't teach height.
Look at that. You got Sam Salinas says, get Cayman so Wemby can keep playing his outside the paint.
People.
Yeah, man. We're getting alerts here. Got another one. I keep getting this alert here on the phone. You probably are getting that on your phone if you're here in San Antonio. Flash flood warning is in effect until 1:45 p.m. It says there is a dangerous, life-threatening situation. So remember, turn around, don't drown, peeps. Don't go through that low water crossing. It ain't worth it.
Yeah, I have a notice saying here, flood watch. We're in my neck of the woods until 7 p.m. It says heavy rain for the next hour, 100% chance of rain at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Jeez. 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock over here. Yeah, it's looking pretty bad over here. Spurs moving up in the draft would be interesting. I think they have to entertain the idea. Option number one for the Spurs has to be you have to go get Kevin Durant. You cannot just bring this team back out because this team, as constantly right now, with De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Sohan, Wemby, all of those guys, right? You put that team out there, we're going to win 45 games. We are, as we are right now, a 45-win team. We're probably the 7 or 8 team in the West. And I know a lot of people are like,
I think it would be more wins than that, Mike. It might be good enough to get them into the play-in or maybe even that 8th seed, you know. Still, you're going to be in the play-in situation.
Right. Well, we'll be in the top part of the play-in, right? Golden State's making their way down, Joe. I mean, we have to understand there's certain teams. Sacramento is going down. Phoenix is going down. We're on the elevator up, right?
We got another super chat we got to address. Yeah, soon.
Let's see it. Well, what is it? Let me see.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
This one's from Joshua Avilar. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, it says Castle's our bucket getter. Mitch needs to give him some more scoring plays. Yeah, I agree with that. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Castle, my God, if he can just get some confidence from outside of 15 feet, he would become a very, very special player. He's a bucket getter in the sense that he can drive in. He could take the paint off the rim, man. He could go dunk it really hard. And it's going to be exciting, Joe, to see a team out there with Castle and Harper on the court at the same time. Because they are the Spider-Man meme images of each other where they point at each other, Joe. That is Castle and Harper. So for those who are like, well, why would we get Dylan Harper? We should trade him for Giannis, all that stuff. Well, worst case scenario, we have another version of Stephon Castle.
Yeah.
Who happens to be same height, a lot of the same skill set. And you know what? You know what's better than having just one Stephon Castle? Having two. And now we have two out there. Both can get buckets. He's a better shooter. Harper's a better shooter than Castle. But Castle's the kind of guy who can make plays happen, drive in, deaccelerate, slow down, get the player off the feet, lay it in, all of that stuff. I love Castle's game. Harper is a little bit different. They're similar, but the difference between the two, Joe, is when Castle drives in, he likes to slow down, little bit of a Kyle Anderson type move. Harper goes in there and wants to throw his elbow into the rim. Right? It's a different type of thing. Dude, Castle and Harper should both be in the dunk contest when it's all said and done. Draft is in less than 2 weeks. Conka Nipple, where's it going to go?
Look
4,
at space
8.
here, Mike. He has a good comment here.
Yeah, it says Castle is it. His handles, his creation, his defense. He does it all. And he will be a good shooter down the line. It's all confidence. It's not a broken shot. It's all confidence, dude. You can see it when he shoots it. And he keeps his arm up like that. Why are you doing that? You know what that's like? That's like bowling and then doing this.
It's the gooseneck, man. You're trying to will it in. You're trying to push that ball in, even after it leaves your hands.
Yeah. Talk about the NBA Finals yesterday, Joe. I thought it was going to be Chet Holmgren's coming out party. Man, he scored, 13 points in the first quarter? He was looking good. But this was a game that had nothing to do with the starters on either team, had everything to do with the bench from the Indiana Pacers. T.J. McConnell coming out of nowhere, Ben Mathurin. They came out and righted the ship for the Pacers because, Oklahoma City was leading by 9 in the first quarter.
Yeah, they were. Pacers
come back, and it was silly stuff like Alex Caruso throwing the ball in bounds and T.J. McConnell just grabbing it, stealing it from it. He's like underneath the basket, stealing it, laying it in. Easy 2 points. T.J. McConnell was just insane yesterday. And what it did was it kept the team in the hunt. Eventually, towards the third quarter, it became a little more of Indiana's pace. Fourth quarter, Pacers started to pull away with it. And Halliburton had himself a game. A couple of things about yesterday's game, Joe. I'm frustrated by Tyrese Halliburton. It's just so weird because he has played so well.
Yeah.
But doesn't it feel like he should be doing more? Am I misinterpreting these games? He had a good game. You look at the stat line.
Yeah.
Pacers won 116-107. You look at the stat line, and you look at Tyrese Halliburton, right? Halliburton, I'm looking at his stats here. He was 9 for 17, played 36 minutes, right? 22 points, 11 assists. He was a rebound short of a triple-double. You look at that stat line of 22, 11, and 9, and you think to yourself, oh, my God, he must have had a hell of a game. But about 2/3 of the game, Joe, I didn't even recognize him on the court.
He was busy getting his teammates involved early in the game, and I think that was the difference maker for the Pacers besting Oklahoma City, because when you look at what both teams are doing, both teams are very good when it comes to defense. So this was a very physical game. There was a call there where they sent Caruso to the ground. They nut checked him. And then you had another play where it got physical and they looked at it to see if it was going to be a flagrant. It was not. I mean, it's just one of these games. It's both teams are playing very physical and they're trying to go ahead and, take out your starting five out of the equation. And I had told you all yesterday, prior to the game starting, that if the Pacers were going to go ahead and win, it was going to be because they got other people involved beyond just the starting five. And I think that's what Halliburton was trying to do. That's why he had 11 assists. You could see that he was driving to the lane and he knew that he wasn't going to be able to get a shot off. Immediately, he turned his body around and he was trying to pass the ball to one of his teammates, get them going early. So I think he did do a lot. He did a lot of little things that went unnoticed. But as far as him being a impactful player, in the sense of you thinking kind of like Shy, he's going to go out there and score 30-something points a game.
Or Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that's not him, man. He's going to give you this, but he will go ahead and distribute the ball very well, as he did with his assist, and he's going to go ahead and crash the boards, because one of the things that the Indiana Pacers do very well is rebound.
Back in the day, Tony Parker would take over games in the finals, right?
Yeah,
he and it doesn't mean that you have to be a score-first point guard, like Luka Doncic or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or John Morant, or Ant-Man, or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's just different watching a player like Halliburton who's unselfish and, as you said, wants to get the team involved. But it's frustrating in the sense that You know he can get a shot if he wanted to. He's just not. And that's either going to be the thing that makes them win the championship or the thing that's going to cost them the championship when it's all said and done. As people are mentioning on our chat, which is powered by MCS General Contracting, he's just not flashy. And I get that.
Not.
But you look at that stat line, 22, 11, and 9, it looks great. But it was a quiet 22, 11, and 9.
Look at this. This is funny. Drew Show says Hallie almost had a triple-double, and Mike, he needs to do more.
I just think he needs to assert himself more to the offense, is what I'm saying. I want him to be a little bit more aggressive in the shot selection that he takes. He's the kind of player who's like a batter who just takes what the pitcher gives him. I'm like, no, man, if you want to hook the ball, if you want to pull the ball, pull the ball. Halliburton is just very, I don't know, he's just very measured out there. He's just very
kind of like even kill under the radar, you know?
Yeah, it's just under the radar. You know, he's not Shea Alexander. He's not John Morant. He's not Ant-Man. He's not Jalen Brunson. He's
you know
not
what he
Luka
is?
Doncic.
He's the quiet, the silent assassin that sneaks into your room and slits your throat while you're asleep. That's what he is, dude. Not making a lot of noise, isn't flashy by any means, but he can get it done.
He ended the game very well.
That it matters.
He ended the game very well. But we got to talk about T.J. McConnell. We'll say an excellent stat line. T.J. McConnell played 15 minutes, right? 10 points, 5 assists, 5 steals, plus 12 in the plus minus. T.J. McConnell was the difference in that game. He comes into the game, second quarter comes into the game, third quarter, and what does he do? He gets the crowd amped up. The guy was a hype man out there. Not only was he making buckets and finding players and getting all of these steals after each one and the whistle sounds, what is he doing? He's going to the crowd and just doing this, getting them amped up, and he made it so that it was 6-on-5, not a 5-on-5 game. That 6-man being the crowd. T.J. McConnell not only played well, but he got the crowd amped up. He got the team amped up. And he did it in a way that Tyrese Halliburton wasn't doing, Joe. If T.J. McConnell had a ho-hum game, T.J. McConnell went out there and played 15 minutes and had 6 points, 3 assists, and 1 steal, OKC wins that game running away.
You know what the difference is? Tyrese Halliburton, they know what he can do over there in OKC. They saw it for themselves in game 1. Mm-hmm. They are going out there and doing their best to guard this brother. He's got 2 or 3 people hanging all off of him. TJ McConnell doesn't have that. But the thing that's different between the two, TJ McConnell is that bench player that comes off the bench. And what does he give your team? High energy, dude. That's all he's done. He gives you good 15 minutes, bro. The coach says, I'm going to put you in for 15 minutes. Do your thing. And that's what he did.
He was the Patty Mills.
He is. The Energizer Bunny off the bench, man.
But, man, 5 steals. That was crazy. Mario Cavazos was already jumping into the, hey, did you know that Pacers guard TJ McConnell, hot sister Megan, is in the WNBA?
Yeah, somebody, we need to have the horny video where you get slapped, in the face.
Yeah, that's so funny, dude. That's right. Megan McConnell is in the WNBA, right? I believe she is. Other players that did well, Joe. It was beyond TJ Halliburton. Ben Mathurin yesterday, 22 minutes played, 9 of 12 from the field, Joe. So look at that combined. Combined between McConnell and Ben Mathurin, 37 points, a combined 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals, Joe. Those two combined for 12 of 20 shooting off the bench. That was the difference in the game. That was the exact difference in the game because OKC did not get that from Alex Caruso. They did not get that from Hartenstein. They didn't get that from Williams or Wiggins. It was the bench that won. It was the bench that won the game. It was round 1, OKC doing well against Indiana. Chet Holmgren coming out 13 points in the first quarter. Chet Holmgren in the first quarter was attacking the rim, was handling the ball, was knocking down threes, was getting to the line, was making mid-range jumpers, was attacking the basket, and looked amazing in the first quarter. Starters for Indiana, just ho-hum, right? Not doing much.
But look at
second quarter, it was the bench that brought them in. Third quarter, what does OKC do? They go on a run to take the lead again in the third quarter. Then what happened? Bring in Mathurin, bring in McConnell, and all of a sudden, that lead goes back to Indiana. Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, all those guys down the stretch, they closed the game out, right? They closed the game out the last 6 minutes of the game. But the previous 42 minutes of the game was all about Indiana's bench getting them in line. It was Indiana's bench that won that game. I don't care if Halliburton went 22, 11, and 9. He could have gone, you could have gotten that 10th rebound, got a triple-double. Didn't matter. His efforts didn't win that game. It was McConnell and Mathurin who won that game. And also Miles Turner, who played like ass the entire game, got that block on Chet Holmgren down the stretch, stole his soul the way that Wemby did back at the Frost Bank Center a year and a half ago.
And now they want me to pull up the Megan McConnell. All right. We'll go ahead and get to that. But one thing that I was going to tell you, and this is why I picked the Pacers in 6. When I'm looking at the teams and you're comparing the roster for both the Pacers and OKC, OKC has a great starting 5, man. The great starting 5. They got no bench. You look at the Pacers, they have a decent starting 5 and they have a decent bench. The longer that you let this series drag out, it's going to be in the Pacers' favor because your starting 5, you're just wearing them out, man. They've played 36 minutes, 35 minutes. Shai played 42 minutes out there, man. Chet Holmgren, 35. Jalen Williams, 36. Dortz, he played 36 minutes. These brothers are going to be tired, man. That's going to get to you at some point in time because you're expending so much energy to be out there to try to win these games. And when you're in the finals game, the effort is there. The energy has to be there almost every single play because both teams want to win. All I'm saying, at the end of the day, I think the Pacers have what it takes to outlast OKC.
Obi Toppin was another player for the bench for the
one.
Pacers who did well yesterday. 8 points in 28 minutes, shot 4 of 8 from the field. Oklahoma City's defense and their bench play needs to be better. Because if you look at players like Hartenstein, Caruso, Wiggins, those are good players, dude. Those are good bench players. They would start on most teams. Hartenstein would start on probably half the teams in the NBA. Those are good players. They just didn't show up at all. Hartenstein, who makes so much money, 4 points in 18 minutes. Caruso, who's more of a defensive player than anything else. If you're out there for 32 minutes, you got to get more than 8 points, dude. You get more than just that. Maybe they were top heavy yesterday, but that Indiana bench yesterday, Indiana bench yesterday with Obi Toppin doing so well and Ben Mathurin doing so well and McConnell, that set the tone of the game. That set the tone. Chet Holmgren, by the way, his stat line was looking pretty good, dude. He had 10 rebounds to go along with 20 points. It was 20 and 10 and 2 assists. Got cold down the stretch, but man, that was going to be his coming out party, and it didn't happen.
Damn, I can confirm Megan McConnell is officially a hottie, bro. There she is. The story checks out, Mike.
The story checks out. No cap.
No cap. The story checks out. Thanks, Mario Cavazos.
Let's give some love to MCS General Contracting. I'm sure they agree that she's a hottie, but they also, if offered, would give her that diamond hard concrete.
Another beautiful segue, Mike. Beautiful. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business. Honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
That rock hard concrete, that diamond hard concrete, brought to you by MCS General Contracting. Their number is 210-774-9155. 774-9155 for that Diamond Heart Concrete. Again, they do everything from residential to business. Need to become ADA compliant, need a slab done, a parking lot done, basketball court, pickleball court, tennis court. They can do it. 210-774-9155. We have some breaking news in the entertainment world, Joe.
What happened, man?
If you go to TMZ.com, Joe.
Let's check it out. Let me go ahead and go
Dua Lipa, the star model, the star singer. Remember how she had that song Levitating? And that song, also that other song from the Barbie movie. She has a lot of hits. She is now engaged, Joe. She's going to get married. She made the announcement on British Vogue that she's getting married. Her boyfriend is named Callum Turner. Now boyfriend turned fiance. Apparently Callum Turner not only got her hand in marriage, is going to get her hand in marriage, but also made sure to get the right ring, yada, yada, yada. The right ring was because he asked her sister and her best friend for advice when it came to it. But Dua Lipa apparently levitating because she's off the market, Joe.
So it means that all these thirsty dudes out here, man, you thought you had a chance, but you don't. They put a ring on it.
Dude, her first song, New Rules, that album, that video, song's fine. The song's fine. That is the dumbest music video I've ever seen in my life. It is so bad. It looks like it's done by like a college crew, like it's bad, dude.
I got a question for you, Mike.
Yeah.
What can't Dua Lipa do? And you're always criticizing her because you say she can't dance.
She can't dance.
She's going to be dancing out there for her wedding? The first dance, Mike?
She can't dance for crap, man. It's all edits, dude. It's all edits to make it look like she can dance, but she can't. Man.
What's she going to do for the first dance with her boo?
Tony Nahas also reached out to us on our YouTube stream saying, rest in peace to MTV VJ Ananda Lewis. She passed away, man. I heard about that, dude.
And also one of the dudes from the Beach Boys passed away, man.
Yeah, Brian Wilson, right?
Yeah. Responsible for some of their biggest hits, man.
Mm-hmm. Were you a Beach Boys fan, Joe?
I like the Beach Boys. We used to listen to that when I was out in Cali. My uncle, that was a Marine, he'd play some of that way back in the day when we're out there on the beach having a good time with my cousins.
Do you ever get into like the whole yacht rock vibe?
Hey, man, I love the yacht rock vibe. I have that channel now on my XM satellite radio in the Cali. Yeah.
Because it's summertime beach weather, right? I know it's raining right now, both in San Antonio and Conroe and basically all of South Texas. But when you go to the beach, whether it be Corpus Christi, whether it be Galveston, or you go to LA, you go to Malibu, or you go to Jamaica, wherever you're going to the beach, right? The music changes, the vibe changes, right? Even the beer changes. Joe, I drink Land Shark when I'm at the beach, but when I go home, do I ever drink it? No. Do you ever go to a bar and go, I'll have a Land Shark? No. But when I'm out and about, I drink Land Shark, I drink Corona, and I drink like Modelo. The only one that I drink at home is Modelo, right? But that vibe of going to the beach and listening to like, I don't know, the Doobie Brothers, Kenny Loggins, listening to Christopher Cross, what's Jimmy Buffett, suddenly the Tommy Bahama comes on.
Tommy Bahamas.
Joe, why am I wearing dude, out of all those brands, Chica goes, dude, Tommy Bahama fits you so well. Fits you.
You're not drinking no Estrella? Remember Estrella? Oh,
no, I have no idea.
Mike.
What is that?
That's too ethnic for you, bro. I shouldn't even have brought it up for you, bro.
What are you talking about?
Estrella, the beer Estrella. You never drank any Estrella?
I've never even seen it.
Oh, Mike, you never been to Mexico, brother? Come on.
Well, I've been to Mexico, but oh my God, can I tell you a Mexico story? Tall tale?
Oh God, man. Here we go.
So Gabby's mom, my first ex-wife, we went to Mexico to go visit her friend for whatever reason. I think her friend was visiting family. She invited us over to go hang out, right? So we went to Mexico and we drove in. So we drove in, we drove past the border and we went maybe about 2 hours into the country, right? So maybe about 100 miles in, right? And we're in this one little small town. It's not a small town, but it's kind of like the outskirts of it's like a suburb, right? We go in there and we're having a good old time and we're having some drinks and whatnot. And her friend says, there's a really nice restaurant in the city. It might have been Monterey for all I know. She goes, do you want to, I think it was Monterey. She goes, do you want to go out to dinner, right? So we go to this one steakhouse. It was a really nice steakhouse, right? And Gabby's mom looked really young for her age. And for some reason, she wore pigtails that night. She wore like braids, maybe not pigtails, but like braided her hair, and it looked really young. We order our food, and they're asking us what we want to drink. And I'm like, I'll have a margarita, whatever, right? And they asked her what she wanted to drink, and she ordered something alcoholic. She ordered a margarita, right? The waiter comes up to me and says, "Sir, is it okay for your daughter to drink tonight?"
Oh,
Stop the cap.
We were both at the time 25 years old, but he thought that she was a minor.
Oh, Mike. You know,
My detector test determined that was a lie.
stop the cap. You know, that's another one that needs to be put on the shirt. Stop the
Stop
cap.
the cap.
And we got another super chat incoming from the Drew Show. Thank you, Drew.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
This for you, Mike.
Says my dad was younger than Mike when Madonna came off the market. Never said a word. Mike had an alert on his phone. Gooner?
Yeah, alert on his phone. He says you're like a gooner boomer, you know, ODB Mike.
ODB, old dirty bastard Mike. No, I didn't have an alert on my phone. I just noticed it on TMZ.com. Literally, if you go to TMZ.com, there's two stories that they're doing. One is the fact that Dua Lipa got engaged. The second one is that plane crash in India.
Oh, dude, that was horrible, man. Prayers out to all those families affected by that. The plane immediately took off. It took off and then immediately it crashed, dude. It's a sad thing, man.
Over
Hey,
200 people died.
Oh, God, terrible, man. Terrible.
You know, there are some people right now who are too afraid to fly. And, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you are more likely to die in a car crash than you are a plane crash, right? That's mathematical fact. But Chica and I went to Laughlin, Nevada, Las Vegas last weekend. Came back on Monday. Plane landed, dude. It was a hard crash. There was no weather going on. It was just a normal sunny day landing at IAH in Houston. We hit the ground so hard, Joe. Like I was like, I'm surprised the shocks worked.
Don't you hit the ground when you have a hard landing in a plane? You could feel it in your spine, bro. When it hits that tarmac,
Yeah,
it's like, oh damn, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't IH, it was Hobby that we flew into.
Yeah.
And I looked at Chica and I said, does that qualify as a hard landing or as a plane crash? What happened there? Why did that happen? Now, I've been in some crazy situations on a plane before, Joe.
Yeah.
I was in a two-seater plane, one of those Cessnas.
Oh God, dude.
Flying from Harlingen to San Antonio. My friend was flying it. My former boss was flying it. And we got stuck in some bad weather. And you do not want to be in a Cessna in bad weather.
You feel everything, dude, in those little planes.
Joe, literally, Joe, we went 90 feet in a second.
Straight down or up?
Straight up.
Oh, God.
Like it lifted us.
Yeah, you were in the jet stream then, dude.
And we are, my former boss, Steve, was just gliding through the clouds. He was looking for clouds and trying to like angle through them because there was so much energy in the clouds. And once you got caught in there, you were being thrown around. It was like a popcorn kernel in a machine, dude. You're just bouncing back and forth.
That turbulence ain't no joke, dude.
Dude, I was on a flight from Cincinnati to Des Moines, Iowa one time. And I used to do freelance work. And I would go from town to city. Dude, that landing was brutal. It reminded me of the movie Major League when they're in that lightning storm and everyone's covering their eyes, you know, and praying and stuff like that. It was funny.
Jeez, man. You know what we need to do? We need also to give some love to Jeff Garcia here of Locked On Spurs.
Let's do it.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
More than 7,500 subscribers to the YouTube account for Locked On Spurs, man. Jeff Garcia does a fantastic job. What's he got going on?
Yeah, Jeff looks like he's got some video here of Wemby going up on his X right now. He says Victor Wembanyama is taking his Shaolin retreat seriously. Some morning cardio training. Looks like he's just jogging around the facilities there with the other monks, getting his cardio going in the morning. I guess this is how you prepare for your NBA season, by jogging around the monks, the monastery with the monks with the shaved head. I can see how that's going to help his game quite a bit, Mike. No pun intended here, bro.
We need to get a t-shirt that says, Wemby, get your ass inside.
Get in the gym, man. At least you know what? You're going to be running around. At least put a ball in your hand and dribble it. Do something, brother.
Yeah. That's brutal, Joe. That's brutal. I'm so uninterested in Wemby doing that. Like, it's funny because you have half the Spurs fans who are like, oh, Wemby's getting in touch with himself. He's growing as a person, as a man. And I'd rather him grow as a basketball player. I mean, just get back inside, Joe. Hey, I watched El Camino last night, Joe.
Did you?
The Breaking Bad
movie? Yeah.
So, my understanding, that movie came out 5 years after the series ended. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
You can tell because they tried to pick up where the last episode ended, and the actors look older. I was like, wait a minute. He wasn't that chubby in the final scene. There had to have been some time that had elapsed, right? But it was 5 years. El Camino was pretty good, dude. I liked it a lot, man. I wonder if there will be even more Breaking Bad stuff in the future, like a reboot down the road of it all. I know we've had Better Call Saul, which was a prequel, which is what I'm starting to watch now. But I'm excited that Breaking Bad was introduced to me by you guys. I need another show, Joe. Breaking Bad was great. Mad Men was great as well. Two different vibes, but both of them really good shows. I'm thinking about pivoting to. I need to finish Atlanta. Okay. Atlanta with Childish Gambino, very good show. Chica doesn't like the cursing though. Chica. See, that's the thing about F them picks and F them picks spelled out.
Yeah.
Chica hates cussing. She hates it with a passion, Joe. She tunes out. She hears people cussing. Doesn't hear it, dude. Just turns away, dude. Turns away.
You know what? Since I was going to say we're talking about shows and whatnot, and it is Thursday, so it's, throwback. We're going to go ahead and have it Throwback Thursday right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a choice. Choose your fighter, Mike. You've seen Three's Company back in the day. Who would you pick, Janet or Chrissy?
Well, the real answer, Joe, is Terry.
Legs for days.
Okay, because Chrissy, may she rest in peace, was known for the Thigh Master later on in life. It was never going to be Janet. Janet was not an attractive woman to me, not at all. Chrissy, the whole blonde bimbo thing, or the ditzy blonde. I mean, she was hot. Don't get me wrong. But look up Terry, Joe. Look up Terry.
Oh, I know Terry.
Let's look her up. Let's look her up.
What was the other one that they had after Chrissy left? It was her cousin. I forgot her name.
Yeah, there was another one. Not as hot. But Terry, and by the way, Three's Company still holds up. That is a funny show. The Regal Beagle. What was the guy that lived next door? Or no, it was Jack's best friend, Larry.
The guy with the shirt open and the gold chains.
It was a hornball who never got any ladies, any girls, dude. Nothing, dude. Tony Analysis Terry was overrated.
She was mid.
Chrissy. Oh, there you go. Do the one in the blue. The middle one in the blue. Yeah, she was the one, dude.
Terry. God.
Not so much today, but back in 1982, that was the way to go.
Yeah, it's still Chrissy or Janet, man. Oh, look at Jason says both. MJ would choose Mr. Furley. Chrissy and her cousin, the neighbor's wife. Priscilla Barnes, the nurse. Mike loves Janet and Chrissy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I mean, to me, low key, man, Janet was pretty hot, dude.
Yeah. Jason Garcia says I should start watching The Blacklist. I watched the first 6 seasons, and it got so so boring down. It was exciting for a lot of years. I think The Blacklist is with James Spader, and I watched a lot of it. It was great for a while, and then at some point, I'm like, it's a mystery, right? It's like who's running the blacklist, or I don't know what it is. It's a mystery, right?
Yeah, the Blacklist.
And it got to the point where I didn't care anymore. Where it was such a good show, and it's like, okay, end already. And they wouldn't do that. Do you know what's another one was like Manifest? Manifest was great for about 2 or 3 seasons, and at some point, just tell us what's going on. I don't even know how Manifest ended. I don't care anymore. It went on too long. And there are certain shows that end the correct way, that don't stretch it out. Give you an example. I'm talking about Breaking Bad. Could they have done Breaking Bad for another 2 more seasons? Damn straight they could have. They could have come up with something. It wouldn't have been as good. Schitt's Creek, 5 seasons, ended perfectly. Boom, done. Sopranos, which I apparently ended correctly as well. But man, there's certain shows like The Blacklist where it just went on and on. Manifest just went on and on and on. And it never, the plot points never reveal themselves. And by the time they do, you just don't care anymore.
Okay, now I remember. Now I remember it. Chrissy's cousin from Three's Company, her name was Cindy. So we're going to show her. And you tell me what you think, because you're talking Terry. This is Cindy.
Oh, I remember Cindy. No, I'll take Terry.
Oh, come on, Mike.
That horse face, dude. No, thank you, man. you feed her apples. Ask her how old she is. She lifts her hind leg and goes 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my God,
dude! I'm sorry, man.
Drew Show says he has a picture he wants to text us. If you want to go ahead and text us a picture, you can go ahead and text us a picture to the media share number. I'll go ahead and share that with you guys right now. And there it is. Media share number. If you want to share anything with us, and I do have the media share ready to go right now. It's 830-391-9164. If you want to go ahead and share any links, any pictures and videos with us, go ahead and just hit us up in the media share.
Text message Frank asking if I've seen Narcos. I have seen Narcos. That was a good show.
Narcos is good. They're telling you to watch Peaky Blinders.
It looks so boring. And anything British, my girl ain't going to get into.
People said Cindy is butter.
Oh. Well, I mean, let's talk about that, Joe. Let's talk about that. Would you rather date a girl who has a hot body but is a butter face, or a girl that is a pretty face but has just an okay body?
Nah, the one with the hot body, because you know what? That makeup can hide all that. Oh, somebody was saying they want to see the Game Boy that me and Jeff were talking about yesterday. Yeah. I'll go pick it up real quick.
All right, man. Jason Garcia reaches out and says, what about the girl who played Cindy Lou on How a Grinch Stole Christmas? Interesting. Tony now is saying Cindy's a butterface. wants to zoom in on Cindy. Says he couldn't figure it out. Jason Garcia says he'd rather have the foursome.
Oh God. So here's the Game Boy. You just open it up like that. That's the Game Boy Advance that I have. It works great, man. I played all the games on here.
Plays all the old games.
All the old games, and it has all these extra buttons on here, that the shoulder buttons and whatnot. But yeah, it's just a clamshell design. Looks like a Game Boy Advance, but it just plays all the old retro games, man. Works great. I use it when I'm at work sometimes when I get bored. I'll just go ahead and just turn it on, play a couple games or something. And Jonathan Pettis is saying, that's sick. Nice pickup. Yeah, I just got it on Amazon, man. You can just go ahead and look it up. I forgot the name of the manufacturer who makes it, but I'll give you all some more information if you all are interested in it.
Cool. Hey, Joe, speaking of video games, my kids, I would take them to the main event all the time.
Yeah.
I had to use the restroom the other day. Chica and she likes to go thrifting, secondhand shops and all the high-end consignment and all that stuff. And I had to go to the restroom so bad that we're in the shopping center in the Woodlands. And I was like, babe, I got to go to the restroom. I got to find a restroom. So there's only two places I could have gone into. One was the AMC movie theater. The second was a Dave & Buster's. I decided to walk into the Dave & Buster's. So I walked like a quarter of a mile to go in the Dave & Buster's because I had to go pee. I walked in there, Joe. I hadn't been to a Dave & Buster's in years. Have we been sleeping on Dave & Buster's, or did I just walk into a really good one?
No,
the
Dave
bar looked
legit.
Bar looked great. The TV screens were amazing to watch games. And then they had all these badass video games going on. And then they had the human crane, which I want to pay $20 for, Joe. I want to be suspended in that thing and be dropped in and pick up some prizes. But man, I was impressed by Dave & Buster's. I had no idea. I was not aware of their game. I was not familiar with their game at all.
And we got some pictures coming in from our viewers here that are sharing stuff via the media share. So we were talking about Megan McConnell earlier, so somebody was sharing that picture with us right here. Thank you for that. And then somebody else sent a picture. What is this right here, Mike? What is that?
I don't even remember, dude. It had to have been Easter.
Oh
man, and I had to have been married to my ex at the time because I was dressing like shit. Chica's the one who got me dressing nicer.
That's not Lululemon.
It's not Lululemon.
Tommy Bahama.
I know. It was so funny is that, like, as part of the divorce proceedings and the paperwork that was going back and forth, my ex was complaining that I was driving a nice truck and I had better clothes. Like that was an actual legitimate complaint that she made, was Michael apparently has more money than he's letting on because he is dressing nicer and has a whole new wardrobe. And I was like, dude, shut the heck up. That's so funny.
And if somebody else is sending something else here, is this can be Mike? Imagine how Chica would feel, but there's no picture.
Okay,
somebody sent a picture.
Mario says the weight limit to the crane is 199 pounds. Sorry, Mike, it's not. It's 249 pounds. I made it, baby. I made it. I'm under that. If it was 240, I'd be under that too.
God. Yeah, people are sending in some text here. They're saying Mike is challenging Joe. Make it challenging for Joe, Mike. He says Yolanda Salvador. He said on a market square sucia.
Pick your fighter. Pick your fighter.
Yeah, somebody's sending us links here and they're not working. I think it was Drew Show. You're sending us links here, but I click on them and nothing's happening, man. It takes me to a page that says the page is not working. So if you want to attach the picture instead, that'd be great. Like maybe take a screenshot and attach it. That way we can show it.
Joe, I have 2 more trips coming up, Joe.
Where?
So I've got a trip next week. So not this Friday, but the following Friday. I am going to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic for a few days.
You gonna come back?
I'm taking my daughter Ava, my 12-year-old,
Yeah.
and Chica. The three of us are going out there. I'm having to get all this paperwork done from my ex to make it allowable and whatnot, but I've never been to the Dominican Republic. So going to go there for a few days.
I'm kind of
And-
envious of people that get to travel out of the country and do all these things because I can't do that. They just finished sending us a list of places that we can't go.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because they know that it's coming around that time where everybody's going to be going on vacation. Some people like to go out of the country, and they tell you right there if it's a hot zone or not. And you can't go or you can go. And if you go, just to proceed with caution. They tell you a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, you know what? You have to check in. You have to give them an itinerary and all that. If not, then you go missing. They're going to go send people looking for you. So
Yeah.
it's crazy, man.
Black Bucket's asking what resort are you staying at? We're staying at Zel Punta Cana. So it's called Zel, Z-E-L. Basically, Chica has a work schedule where she works 4 days a week.
Yeah.
So she either works Monday through Thursday or she works Tuesday through Friday. So what ends up happening is that there's some parts of the schedule where, because it alternates, so she will get out on a Thursday and not have to work until the Tuesday, right? Because they butt into it. It's kind of like a snake draft where if you're picking number 8, you also pick it at 9. She'll have Friday off and then have Monday off and then have 4 days off. And at that point, she's like, "Well, Michael, let's go do something," right? So that's what I love about Chica is that she likes to go out and do things, whether it goes to the casino or whatnot. She does well for herself and doesn't have any small kids, and it makes life a lot easier to kind of just get up and go someplace for the weekend. So Punta Cana will be our next stop. We have one more trip at the end of July. We're going to go to Miami. Her daughter goes to college there, and it's a ceremony for her college. So we're going to go to the college ceremony. She works. Her daughter has is studying to become a physician's assistant, and they are given their white coats. It's called the white coat ceremony.
Yeah.
The doctors have their white coats. She'll be given her white coat. And after that, Chica has said that we're going to go 6 months without going anywhere. She wants to save money and maybe buy a house, San Antonio, Helotes, somewhere. So we're going to save money from August through December, August through January, and then hopefully make a move at some point early part of next year or at the end of the year this year. So that's the plan, Joe.
Hey, man, we finally got that incoming picture that Drew Show was sending us.
Oh, yeah. What's going on?
He was saying that, what did he put on here before I show it? He says, Terry didn't have an onion like Janet.
Well, let me see.
About that cake.
Let me see. Yeah, but Janet had that face, man. She had that.
Oh, Mike, there's nothing wrong with her, man.
Like her face was hit with a bag of nickels.
No,
kind of face.
bro.
Nah, man,
No.
I'm good. Nah, I'm good. Janet having that cake.
Jeez, man. And then we had some other stuff coming in here too. Tony Ornella sent us something. And look at this. He's saying Chica would love Miss Mike Jimenez to have his body transformation into this, because I guess there's a pro boxer. His name is Michael Jimenez or Mike Jimenez.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is what you have in common. Just the name, not the physique. Just the name, not the physique, Mike.
He's got the 6-pack. I got the pony keg.
Yeah, man. He looks like he's a little bit more than sneaky athletic, man.
Oh no. Well, what was going on with that guy? Show that photo of that guy yesterday that you guys were talking about, the one guy that was in a split.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Let me go ahead and get that
Jean-Claude
one.
Van Damme style. What was going on with that guy? Who is he?
I think it's just a parody, dude. Somebody found it on the. Hold on, let me bring Mike back in. Somebody found that on the internet there. A local comedian, and he likes to make fun of things, put in his bit in there. But it was pretty funny, man. I'm gonna go ahead and look for it. All right, let's see if I can find it, because everybody was chiming in. Oh, there it is. I think this is it. Yep, this is it right here. I'm gonna show it to you, to the viewers, and you tell me. Mike's always saying that he's sneaky athletic. If he can pull this off.
Mira, Billy the Speak. Cálmate, Mexican Blade. Es balde, el camarada. Carnita Snipes, espérate, güey.
Mike.
¿Quién está grabando? Tu mamá se va a enojar, güey. Tírate la vironga ahí en la carpet con. Espérate, te vas a lastimar.
And this is a
go
local comedian here. So this was courtesy of Mario Salazar from Superstar Comedy. This is funny, dude. No way, Mike, that you'd be able to pull that off. No.
Never in my wildest dreams, didn't matter how old I was, never could I have done that. Neither could you, Joe. I don't want you to say you were ever able to do that either.
No, I would never do that, dude. I'd hurt my knees, my ACLs, bro. No, never. Can you imagine, bro? Like, oh, God.
I mean, like, why?
On those rickety ass chairs, bro. No, man.
Oh, dude, it was so funny. I was listening to Chica talk about furniture the other day, and you said rickety ass chairs. It reminded me of that. We have this nice patio furniture out here, and Chica is you know, she's not a big girl. She's curvy, but she's not big. I think she looks great. But we were talking about furniture, and she goes, "Oh yeah, backyard furniture. They keep asking us to buy this wicker furniture." She goes, "We Latinos are not wicker people." And I just started laughing. I was like, "What?" She said with a straight face, like not as a joke or anything. She goes, "Mexicans can't sit on wicker furniture."
Jeez, man. You know what? Chica keeps it real, Mike. She's not playing, bro. Chica keeps it real, bro.
Oh my gosh, she makes me laugh. But
she's pretty funny, man.
The Apache battle cry.
Hey, look, they're telling us to get Mario Salazar on the show. He's from the Valley.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They said he's a Chargers fan. Oh, I know he's a Chargers fan. I've seen the video of him hanging out there when the Chargers are, having their
I didn't think they existed.
tailgates. Yeah, man. They got Chargers fans there. Man, people are clowning you, Mike. They're using this. They're using the chat, the media share. I don't know who this. I don't know if it's Sean or somebody. They send this picture of
Kim Jong Jimenez.
Oh God, bro. And they had another one that was pretty funny too. I think this one was done by our good friend here, Swiss. He had put this one, dude. I shared this one. He put you on the cover of the NBA 2K.
Oh, I saw that. That was stupid. That one was stupid.
It's funny,
he has some good ones. That one was a little bit much.
2K26, the acquired edition.
Okay. I didn't notice the acquired edition part. Okay, that makes up for it.
That's why I was laughing.
That one made it better. I just saw the photo.
Yeah, that one was pretty funny, man. Sometimes they do some good stuff there. We saw this. I just saw it today, but this was something that Bobby Marks had put out. And it's talking about the San Antonio Spurs, Mike, and he's showing kind of like what they have to work with. He's showing the contracts that they have, rookie scale contracts. They have other contracts, sizable contracts, free agents. They have the draft assets, the finances. Everything's laid out there, easy to read, easy to see for all Spurs fans to see. This is what the Spurs have to work with here as far as the off season.
Yeah, Bobby Marks, who's a guru of the salary cap, says rookie scale contracts. We have Wemby, Castle, Sohan, Wesley, and Malachi Branham. But talking about how Branham and Wesley and Sohan will be restricted free agents in 2028. They have a very good small-term contract with Julian Champagny. Sizable contracts he considers to be De'Aaron Fox, Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and Keldon Johnson. And then the Spurs have free agents in Chris Paul, Charles Bassey, Jordan McLaughlin, Mamu, and Bismack Biyombo. Draft assets, the Spurs have the number 2 and 14 pick this year, picking at number 38, which is really early in the second round. Spurs have 8 future first-round picks, We have 3 that could be traded, future first-round picks that could be traded. We have 2 swaps with other teams. We have 15 second-round picks in the future. And the only pick that we're leaving, that we're pushing out, is our 2027 pick, which is what we use for Deer and Fox.
Yeah, and they were even showing how far below they are of the first apron and the second apron.
37 million and 48 million.
Yeah.
So Spurs have room to grow.
They're in good shape, man. They can go out and get some talent if they needed to.
Or the Spurs could overpay to keep Jeremy Sohan.
Nah. You know what his name's going to be? Gone. They ain't gonna. Nobody should pay 20-something mil for him, bro. He's not worth that.
Hey, James Pledger of San Antonio Sports Star just tweeted out a retweet of Michael Scotto, who's the senior NBA insider for Hoops Hype Podcast and USA Today Sports. Consider that to be legit. Says sources have told him that the Philadelphia 76ers have engaged with the San Antonio Spurs about moving up for the number 2 pick. For now, the Sixers have zeroed in on 4 NBA draft prospects with the number 3 pick, including a private workout last week with VJ Edgecombe and Ace Bailey visiting Philadelphia this week. So the question would be, the Spurs dropping back down to number 3. Do you give up Dylan Harper to go get Ace Bailey? Do you give up Dylan Harper to go get VJ Edgecombe in exchange for more draft capital? And the answer should be absolutely the hell no.
Yeah, I'm going to show that here on the screen as well. There it is. Tweet from Pledger on the X.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it says there. Just everything you just finished saying.
So that's a Philadelphia pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me see here. What do they own right now? I mean, unless we're getting a player like Tyrese Maxey as part of the deal, why would we want to do that? So Yahoo Sports again has their so actually Philadelphia isn't even picking there. Where's Philadelphia at? Because New Orleans picks at 3. Let me see here. Let me revisit this real quick. Philadelphia doesn't pick till 7, dude. So we'd have to flip the 7 and the 2. So we better be getting a haul if that's the case. My question is this: why would that haul even matter? The whole point of winning the lottery is to draft the number 2 player in the draft, Joe.
Yeah.
Hard pass, as Sam Salinas says, to move up to flip flop from 7 to 2. Unless we're getting Tyrese Maxey? No. That's a hell no.
Got a super chat incoming here from Tony Ornalis.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
Tony Ornalis, he's saying Spurs should take Rasheer Fleming for their number 14 pick. Let me know what you guys think about it tomorrow.
That's actually a very good point. Rasheer Fleming, who played for St. Joe's, is a very, very good player. He played for 3 seasons over there, 6'9", averaged 15 points, 8.5 rebounds, shot 53% from the field, 39% from 3. I mean, yeah, we'll talk about it some more tomorrow, but Rasheer Fleming is by far one of the ones that I would want to have at 14 as well. I like Asa Newell. If it's not him, Rasheer Fleming, I'd be happy with either one of those guys.
Look at the Jonathan Bettis, the alien and the clown haters with the pic of Mike and Joe on a shirt. I'm telling you, man, we've got some great catchphrases on our show here, and we're going to go ahead and capitalize on that and give the listeners, what they want here. They're asking for shirts. They're asking for stickers that have some of our best catchphrases on it. So might as well just give them what they want, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody did do something I saw that I thought was a good mix between the two. If we're going to put F them picks, it was F, and then it had the little asterisk, the little star symbol after it, them picks. All right, maybe it's something we can work with.
There you go. Samson's asking why Ace over Kaman. I'd rather have Kaman, but I don't think he's going to be there. I'm projecting that Kaman will be taken in the top 10. So, if Ace is there at 14, you take him.
Hey, we're gonna reach out. I'm gonna reach out here to Wesley Perkins this week and see if we can get him on next week. Tomorrow we are gonna have a guest join us, Mike, and that's going to be the one and only Spernandez. He's gonna be joining us tomorrow.
Very nice. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Jill, let's make it a show. We'll be back tomorrow. Everyone stay dry, stay indoors, turn around, don't drown, all of that stuff. Enjoy the fact that it's not 105 degrees. How about that?
Jeez.
We can all do that. We'll be back tomorrow talking more Spurs, more sports, more pop culture, more nostalgia things. And again, congratulations to Dua Lipa, who is now off the market. She can't dance for crap, though. We'll be back tomorrow.